Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Secondary conditions, are they rated differently than service-connected conditions? Is there a different way that the VA looks at secondaries as far as assigning percentages to you? Just wanted to jump into it, just give a little clarity for those that may not know as you're entering into the world of VA and disability claims. So with that, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. The 2 asks, hit that thumbs up, doesn't cost a nickel. And let the video run. It helps to put this into the hands of those that need it. Many hands make light work, so do your part to get this on to the next veteran or spouse or dependent who is also interested in this information. If you want to join the channel, you can. That's another way to support. It also helps me to find you quicker in the comments. And doing that is fairly easy, I think. You just go to the home page of the channel, and there's a highlighted members section. And in there should be a little blue join button, word, hyperlink, something. All right, so moving on. Can or are they rated differently, the secondary conditions versus the service-connected conditions? The answer is no. They're rated exactly the same, and this is why you will see many of us out here in the all the different avenues, right? YouTube or whatever other sort of, I guess, social media type stuff you're seeing. There's a lot of us that talk about the power of secondary conditions and how important secondary conditions are on your journey to, we'll call it the 100% mark. Now, I'm also going to throw in here, just for clarity, that, look, 100% is not the maximum. So not everybody, a lot of people have this interpretation or this perception that 100% is actually 100%. There is no higher. That's the highest it goes. That's the maximum, which in turn means that 100% should be reserved for the veterans that are the worst off of all of us. And that's not the case. 100% is the end of the regular rating schedule. There is a whole other rating schedule called Special Monthly Compensation, SMC. That, my friends, is the rating schedule that is reserved for those that are in the more severe situations. And it pays out a substantially higher amount of compensation per month. So just to kind of set that part aside now, I just wanted to, so everybody's on the same page. The journey is to 100%. And sometimes what happens is people who are not fully informed believe that you're kind of, I guess, pulling one over on the system if you're getting to 100% and you still have all of your limbs and you can walk to and from the store, right? And so I'm just to shed the light that that's not the case, right? There's a whole other rating schedule. So it's just important for clarity. Now, moving on, the secondary conditions, again, are so important to add to your overall conditions rated by the VA, because oftentimes it's these secondary conditions that pose a lot of additional issues for us. And quite frankly, we think that it's the one service-connected condition that's the issue, and we don't really unpack all of the secondaries around it. An example would be, I'll give you Veteran A and Veteran B, right? So Veteran A says, I have a back condition. My back is just killing me. It's horrible. And they file a claim for their back, and they go in and they say, my back's just horrible. It hurts everywhere. And, it hurts me so bad. It's hard to sleep. And, I feel so stiff. Oh man, it's hitting me everywhere. God, I feel like it's shooting into my hips, right? Okay, Veteran A. Veteran A filed for his back or her back and, described it kind of like that. And the C&P examiner shakes their head and they write down some stuff and they send it. You get back your rating and you're at 10% or maybe 20%. You're like, wow, that's it? That's pretty low for how crappy I feel and how kind of life-altering this back condition seems to be. And so the first kind of thought is, wow, the VA sucks. Screw the VA. I should have been rated at 60% or something for my back. Because, again, we're working with limited information and we don't really understand how the VA rating schedule even works to begin with. So we just think we got screwed over. Now, maybe Veteran A goes, you know what, I'm going to appeal this and I'm going to, try to get a higher rating for my back, right? They're going to stick it at 10 or 20%, and that's where they're going to be. Now, Veteran B did a little bit of homework or what have you, is a little more enlightened, and they file for their back, which they're going to get a 10 or 20%. They're going to file for their radiculopathy, the numbness, tingling thing going down their legs, one for each leg, so that's probably going to be another 10% on each side. Then they had an appointment and they got looked at, and sure enough, they got some arthritis kind of in their back there, kind of building up. So they're filing for arthritis, right, as a secondary condition to their back. And then they sleep like garbage, so they're going to file for insomnia as a secondary condition to their back issue. So now they file all that, and when that comes back, guess what they're getting? They're getting a 10 or a 20 for their back. They're getting a 10 or 20 for their radiculopathy going down each leg. So that's 2 times. Then there's also something called bilateral effect, which is a little bump on top of that. Moving on. Then there's going to be insomnia. That's potentially, it's everybody's situation's different. I usually see when it's insomnia alone due to something like this, around a 30%. Could be a 50%. Somewhere in there, 30-50% is typically what you'll see. At least what I've seen. Some people see more, whatever. It's all nuanced, right? It's really up to you and your current situation. And then, so you're going to get, let's just say, a 30% for your insomnia, and maybe you're going to get a 40% for your arthritis building up in there. These are huge secondary conditions being added on. You're getting a 10 or 20 for your left leg, 10 or 20 for your right leg. You're getting a 30 for insomnia. You're getting a 40 for arthritis. So Veteran B is in a much better overall rating percentage than Veteran A at a 10 or a 20, right? And here's the beauty of it. Veteran B is not stressed out and pissed off. Veteran A is stressed out and pissed off because he didn't understand. This is all dialed in to your back. It's all because of your back that these things are happening. But you didn't break it up into the different segments and call things secondaries and file for things in an appropriate way. Now, on your journey to 100, look, it gets harder the closer you get. So you need everything you can get. My kind of tip here is never focus on just filing for the things you think are going to be the biggest payouts or the things you think should give you the highest ratings. File for everything that you have that would tie back to your time in service as a service-connected condition, and file for any secondary conditions that are as a result of your service-connected condition. Now, I'm going to give you an example here off of the VA's website if you've hung on. And it says here, secondary service-connected claim. You can file a claim for new disabilities that's linked to a service-connected disability that you already have, hence the secondary condition. You can file a secondary claim to get more disability benefits for a new disability that's linked to a service-connected disability that you already have. For example, here's an example. You might file a secondary claim if you develop arthritis that's caused by a service-connected knee injury you got while on active duty. So in this example, you hurt your knee. Maybe it was on a run or something, right? You hurt your knee. You got a service connection for it, 10%, 20%, whatever. But now you're starting to build some arthritis in there. You can file a secondary condition for arthritis in your knee. Very important. I would also add on that if you do not have a mental health condition, you may want to consider, hey, do I wake up in the middle of the night wondering what's going on and then try to go back to sleep and realize my knee is hurting? Your knee is what woke you up, right? When you first wake up, you're not thinking clearly. You're wondering why you woke up. Did you hear something? Did something happen? What's going on? You're listening. You're trying to be alert. It's when you calm down and try to go back to sleep that you realize, my knee hurts, and that's why I woke up. So now you have insomnia due to, in this example, your knee as a secondary condition. All right, moving on. Another one here, develop heart disease that's caused by high blood pressure you were diagnosed with while on active duty and that we've previously concluded was connected to your service. So in other words, your service connected for hypertension, high blood pressure. And for those that served in Vietnam or any of the Agent Orange affected areas, hypertension is a presumptive condition. So all you need to have is high blood pressure, hypertension, and served in one of the designated areas during the designated time frames, and the VA will grant you service connection for your hypertension. Now, if you develop a heart disease or pass away from a heart condition, you can link that and either A, get that service connection for you or your dependent spouse, or dependents or spouse or parents in some cases, can actually apply for dependency indemnity compensation and have high blood pressure. You can do it two ways. You can either have high blood pressure listed as a contributing cause on the death certificate, or you can file for service connection for that heart condition as a secondary, and then if you died of a heart attack, then the heart attack is listed on the death certificate as the primary cause, and then you can get it covered that way. So you have two different angles that you can attack that on. So with that, want to leave it there. Just wanted to fill you in with secondaries and that, yes, they are rated exactly the same as service-connected conditions. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.